Hello, I'm Dr. G. Core faculty for the College of Health Sciences and Public Policy at Walden University. And in this segment, I'm going to be going over something I learned from the World Congress of Neurology conference that I am attending currently, and actually presented some original research findings myself. So let's go ahead and get started. I also wanted to kind of talk about the stigma that is attached to various diseases and disorders. And this is actually epilepsy. I'm going to be going over that I learned this from. I was only aware of circadian rhythms, and circadian rhythms is a 24-hour kind of rhythm that even animals that are locked in total darkness can sense. And this is alone very interesting. However, one of the speakers also talked about other cycles. So I wanted to go into that. And then also how having some of these diseases is stigmatizing due to the fact that people don't know or understand all of the various components of the disease and have perceptions that are negative and sometimes not very pleasant. So let's take a look at what the rhythms are. These rhythms are a series of bodily functions regulated by your internal clock. They control cycles like sleep and wakefulness, body temperature, hormone secretion, and more. And so these are all biological cycles, and they actually control a lot of these sleep and wakefulness. I wanted to go into also the fact that this is Health Week. Health. So this is National Health Education Week, and goes through the end of the week. So let me go a little bit more. These rhythms are actually affecting individuals in a positive or negative health repercussion. So there's a variety of chemicals at the molecular level in response to the environment. So the light exposure, eating habits, and other environmental cues can maintain or disrupt your biological rhythms. And like I said, this is sometimes negative. And disrupting your biological rhythms can lead to serious health problems. And this might a lot of times lead to come from working maybe third shift or something like that. Where this all comes from is the biological rhythms are tied to the suprachiasmatic nucleus. And this is located in the hypothalamus. And this manages the autonomic nervous system and the pituitary gland within your body. What's the type of cycles? Well, we're all aware of the menstrual cycle. This works over a much longer time frame. However, the diurnal biological clock is night and day. Circadian, 24 hours, like I told you earlier. And then ultradian, which is less than 24 hours. Infradian, circalunar, that is 1 month. And then circannual, 1 year. So as you can see, there are many types of rhythms and that lead to that go over certain time frames. So as we transition into talking a little bit more about each of these and describing some of these, the circadian and diurnal rhythms, they control sleep, body temperature, and hormonal changes, and are most affected by light. So the sunlight tells your suprachiasmatic nucleus what time it is and when to perform certain functions. Studies actually show the power of the internal clock by placing people in environments without the cues necessary for their circadian rhythms. And even without the light cues, the suprachiasmatic nucleus actually can maintain your body's processes for a time with only slight deviations in its normal 24-hour clock. So the circadian rhythms are actually internal clocks that don't require necessarily what is in the environment. So the internal clock is so powerful, then why is it so hard to wake up in the morning? Good question. This is due to a circadian pattern called your chronotype. It is the biological tendency to deviate from a 24-hour cycle. And so studies have shown how the body's circadian rhythms continue even in total darkness, and these are lead to night owls and early birds. So there's variations in the circadian rhythm ranged between 23.5 and 24.6. What do biological rhythms affect? And they affect the sleep-wake cycle mostly. Some of the biological fluctuations are metabolism, heart rate, blood pressure, body temperature, hormone levels, and urine production. And so biological rhythms are tied to regulation of blood sugar, cholesterol, risks associated with mental health that lead to depression, bipolar disorder, and neurodegenerative diseases. Jet lag disorder, shift work disorder, delayed sleep phase disorder, irregular sleep-wake rhythm disorder. These are the disorders that are there in terms of biological rhythms. I'm going to end with some tips to try to maintain your biological rhythms. Soak in some sunlight early in your day to reinforce your biological cues. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Exercise during the day to make it easier to sleep at night and to reinforce your waking hours. Avoid caffeine after 12 p.m. to make sure you can fall asleep. Avoid artificial light from electronic devices before bed. And don't take long naps, and don't nap too close to bedtime. So these are all tips that you can use to maintain your biological rhythm and lead a long, healthy life. This has been the National Health Week, and so I wanted to make sure that I was presenting one type of health disorder. And as I said, this is connected to epilepsy, as scientists have seen that a lot of times episodes of generalized tonic-clonic seizures actually have a pattern, whether it's weekly or monthly or even annual patterns. And the only way to present this and understand this is through the biological cycles. I hope some of this has made sense. Thank you for listening.